Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rifki Khofizh. Now I will present it about literary criticism, the story of Maple. Next. My title of this analysis or the presentation is The Dominance of Puritans with Hegemony Perspective in the Story of Maple. The first point we have introduction and then discussion, and the second point and the third point we have conclusion, and the last point we have the reference. Now we enter the introduction. First, we seek the cultural studies first, which is the analysis of this story using the cultural studies. Cultural studies is an interdisciplinary field of studies. Cultural studies draw from many aspects such as sociology, anthropology, and political science, and also history. Cultural studies is the way that we constructed the culture of evolve over time. Here we're using Hegemony by Antonio Gramsci. The idea of hegemony was put forward by Gramsci in 1891 until 1937. Antonio Gramsci was an Italian social thinker. Gramsci is Gramsci thinking is it roots from Marx and Lenin. He made all the Marxist assumption about material origin of class and the role of class. Next, the important theory of cultural studies is hegemony. Hegemony is used to describe the dominance or authority for one group or one culture to the others. For example, we have now in the United States, the white people is dominate the black people. Hegemony is the cultural studies that learn about that, about the dominance of a group or a culture. Now enter the Maple. The Maple of Marymount is a short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It was stories and tale that told in 1837. It tells the story of colony of Mount Wollaston or Marymount, a 17th century British colony located in what now is Quincy, Massachusetts. The people of Marymount, who what Home calls crew of Comus, celebrate the marriage of yacht and maiden. But Endicott, such a leader of Puritan, it ordered the people of Puritan to wipe out the Marymount even the marriage even because it's not suit their Puritan culture. Now we enter the discussion. The background story of Marymount. Marymount was originally a people who live in Puritan colony. So the Marymount here is a minority among the Puritans colony. Puritans have an advantage here because they are the majority or the dominant in this group in the Maple. Marymount is a group that's bound with fun culture. They have fun with dance or a party. But on the other hand, Puritans keep an eye on the Marymount and they get annoyed because it looks like they performing a pagan ritual or mass sex ritual. It's not suit the Puritan religiosism. Next, the background history of Puritan. Puritanism began in England in the late 16th century when the Protestant reforms attempt to purge the Church of England of the elaborate ceremonies, ritual, and hierarchical structure in retained from the Roman Catholic Church. The Puritan itself is religious people who learn who based on Christian, and Puritan is became a dominant faction in the new Commonwealth government headed by Oliver Cromwell. Next is the analysis. Based on the history that I told before, there is a Marymount leader known as Priest William Blackstone. So Blackstone was a priest in New England during the 90s, during the 1600 years. Puritans don't believe in Blackstone because he works according to old church law. So Puritans saw the Old England church as unworthy and tried to reform it. We can see the hegemony in where Puritans dominate a place by getting rid of people who are not according to their tradition or culture. They get rid of people and form a new one. It's a part of the hegemony. It's part of a dominance. That's a story from Puritan dominance. Now we talk about the opposite culture of Puritans and Marymount. The two cultures are opposite. The Puritan had suppressing the wild heart, consciousness overcoming the unconscious symbolized by killing the wild beast. A Marymount is lack of common sense. Puritan culture lacks heart. So the Marymount is a fun culture, is a like uh, like American culture. They have a party, they having a sex, they having uh, fun with themselves, enjoy themselves. It doesn't look good because it's wasting time. And then, so why that is lack? So that's why it lacks common sense. And then Puritan culture lacks hearts. Why they like lack hearts? Lack heart because they often to get rid of something that don't suit them. They often using a vigilante, not in humanity way. It's like yeah, vigilante way. So that's why Puritan culture is lack heart. So we can see in this quote above, and with his keen sword, Endicott assault the hollowed maple, nor long did it resist his arm. It groaned with a dismal sound, its sword leaves and rosebud upon the remorseless enthusiast, and finally, with all its green boughs and ribbons and flowers symbolic of departed pleasure, down fell the banner staff of Marymount as it sang. Tradition says the evening sky grew darker, and the woods forth a more sombre shadows. Right. So in this quote above, Endicott barely attacked the Holy Maple. Endicott is a leader of Puritan in that day. So in this story, the the Puritans attacked the Marymount in Maple when the Marymount had uh, at a marriage party with. So when Marymount held a marriage party, the Puritans come and then cut the party, disrupt the party, and then even attack the Puritans because yeah, you know, it's not the party is not with the Puritans culture, and they got barely attack the Maypole. Here indicates that Puritans are people who are more dominant or superior than Marymount because they often do anything without a doubt. They think that they are dominant and superior, so they just do what they want. Just because it's not suit their culture, so they get rid of it. It's Puritan things. The religious rules in the Puritan is a crime, and they have to be the Marymount have to be punished according to Puritan tradition, because they embrace freedom like dancing, getting drunk, partying, and so on. So in this Maple story, we can see that Puritans are the dominant over the Marymount because they they attack Marymounts without a doubt because of the different culture. Now we enter the conclusion. The story contains a dominant and subdominant power. The dominant, of course, describe the Puritans, and then the subdominant describe the Marymount. As a dominant or majority, the Puritans have a power to rule and to make everything around the environment suit their culture, of course. With the religious thing of Puritan, they definitely different with Marymount, such have a fun culture and partying or something. The Puritan also attack the Marymount without a doubt in Maple because the Marymount do something that trigger the Puritans, or do something that different with the culture of Puritans. Now we enter the reference. Here the reference I use in this presentation. There are 6 references. I think that's enough for my presentation. Thank you for joining. Thank you for listening. I'm Muhammad Rifki Khofizh, sign out. Bye and thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.